My name is Reverend Rachel Harrison, and this is the Recover Your Soul podcast, a spiritual path to a happy and healthy life. I started Recover Your Soul after having profound changes in my life from my recovery of alcoholism, control addiction, and codependency. I was guided to share the tools and principles of spirituality and soul recovery to help others transform their lives as mine was transformed. For us to overcome external circumstances, we must first turn the attention to ourselves, focusing on inner change. Outer positive results in our lives will follow. As a spiritual coach, I can support you on your path to make real changes that will bring you a life of peace, happiness, connection, and abundance. Visit the website recoveryoursoul.net to book coaching sessions, read the blog, listen to some of my original music, and subscribe to receive email updates. I think of Recover Your Soul as a community. Follow us on social media and join the private Facebook group to support each other and connect. For an extra episode each week and to support this podcast, become a Patreon member or subscribe on Apple Podcasts. Together, we can do the work that will recover your soul. Welcome back to Recover Your Soul. Thank you again for joining me today to talk about soul recovery, to talk about healing ourselves, to talk about shining our lights from within. I have this quote on my wall of my studio that I've had forever. I was just looking up at it, and it's cut out of an Oprah Winfrey magazine, and it says, "Let your light shine. Shine within so that it can shine on someone else. Let your light shine." And I think it's interesting that as I look around my creative space, there's all kinds of affirmations and reminders to be your fullest self and to be open and receptive to new adventures and to let your light shine, to be amazing. And it wasn't until the last couple years of recovery that those things that I've had up on my walls for so long have really meant something in me and have taken root. And I realize that for so many of us, we're ready when we're ready. And that's that whole part as well of dealing with anybody else in your life who isn't ready. That there's this pain that comes from wishing somebody else was ready when really we need to keep the attention on ourselves and do our own soul recovery, our own inner light shining. And I'm excited about this because I've just taken a major step in my life. And I wanted to share it with you because it's such a big deal to me. And it's been my dream. Before I say what it is, we'll hold that for a moment. I'm going to go back a couple years. We have a program that we've been doing at our spiritual center, and it's about prosperity. It's about dreaming and visioning your best life. I'm thinking about how it was in my first year of sobriety. And I know I've told this story before, but I'm going to tell it again. So it was in my first year of this new time of this particular 4 years of sobriety, so about 3 years ago. And I took this class, and it was really talking about visioning the life that you would love. What would you love in your career? What would you love in your relationships? What would you love in your health? What would you love in your time and money freedom? And at that period of my life, I was still not in a place where I was really feeling as joyful as I am now, because I was just still thawing out from all those years of being an alcoholic, all those years of being an untreated Al-Anon, all those years of being a control person, all those years of real dysfunction and being stuck in the grind of never enough. Not happy, never enough. And so as I wrote out these dreams, they seemed impossible. They seemed just so far from what could really happen. It felt like I was writing a story tale, a story. Is that what they're called? A fairy. I was writing a fairy tale. And in my relationship, I was visioning that Rich and I were best friends, that we loved spending time together. I was visioning that our family loved spending time together, that we laughed and enjoyed each other's company. I was visioning that I had a career that I loved, that was about being spiritually connected to people, that I got to shine my light and be my fullest self. I visioned that I was healthy, and I visioned that I had time and money freedom to grow my spiritual life. Well, here we are 3 years later, and those things, those visions that I continued to hold and put out there have come to me. And there's a couple pieces of this, because it's not as simple as putting out into the world what you want. It is multi-layered, multifaceted. Part of it is learning to listen to the guidance that is actually coming from source, that is giving you the directions that are right and best for your life. That we sometimes get so caught up in our heads and in our egos that we want to muscle something. What if I was muscling a relationship in my marriage that actually wasn't a healthy, good, safe, or solid marriage? What if I was trying to make that be something that it could never be? That's a difference than the guidance that was coming about saying, if you can open up to the healing, if you can let go of the past, if you can see the beauty of the gifts that are there for you, if you can do this work for yourself, you will see the diamond that is right there that you haven't seen yet. That the gifts that Spirit has given to us, each our own unique gifts, have been given to us, are there for us to take advantage of. But sometimes we don't want to take advantage of the gifts that were given to us. We want something else. So I think the key of using the law of attraction and using the visioning tools is having the clarity of the light that is supposed to be shining from you and listening more to that deeper knowing of what the universe, what source, what guidance is being given to you to send out into the world and to do the action steps. So if I look at what seemed like a fairy tale on those pieces of paper and how one step at a time I was able to get closer and closer to what those said, that wasn't a fairy tale anymore, it was my life. But it meant that I personally was doing the work on me to shine my light so that I could shine my light on others, so that those relationships could change and grow. So one of those steps was being able to work at the spiritual center that I've been at for the last couple years. And what a gift that was, because that was on my dream, my piece of paper, to be able to be working someplace where I could do spiritual development was an incredible opportunity for me. And to be someplace that I had been for, when I started working there, it had been 17 or 18 years of my life already. And to grow and develop in that environment was beyond my wildest dreams, really. And in that time that I've been doing this spiritual work, that I've been doing soul recovery, the next gift that was the guidance from elsewhere was to share this with you, to create and grow a community that we are doing this work together, that we're sharing this incredible journey together. I look at how I didn't know anything about podcasting when I first started and what I've learned, and just one step at a time, just improving a little bit all the time, just listening to the ideas and writing down the ideas and moving forward, stepping out in faith that this direction that I'm getting is the right and true direction for me. And it's been a pretty interesting journey. So my latest piece of that, and if you've been listening to the podcast, that my absolute dream is to do this full time, to have this podcast grow and to develop even a greater experience to work directly with more and more of you as we are doing soul recovery together, to be able to see what's coming next in this community that I call soul recovery, this vision that's been given to me to help everyone who's been affected by addiction, either in their own lives or in the lives of people who are around them, or in dysfunction, or that just want to use these tools of recovery, of spirituality to better their lives, for us to transform and grow and change and be able to be happy and healthy regardless of what's happening in the world around us. And as this has happened more and more, I've become more and more passionate about it. And more ideas are coming in to do groups, support groups with everyone together over Zoom, to start to have workshops, to do retreats. So many exciting things that I know that are going to help all of us to transform in this community. So recently, I got the nudge, the real nudge from Spirit to not be afraid, to actually listen to this guidance, to this voice, and to not play small. Because so often we look at this spiritual stuff and we say, go for it and do what you love, do what you dream. What are your dreams? How can you get there? But we all have this back end where we want to do those things, but the truth is we're afraid. I've had that in me as well, that I really want to do this full time, but it seems kind of crazy to leave a job that has a steady paycheck that is a nice job. But Spirit is really pushing me to devote all of my time and my energy to do Recover Your Soul. And the last couple weeks, I gave notice at the spiritual center, and I can't believe how I feel. That I feel nervous, I feel excited, I feel supported, I feel curious, I feel brave, I feel interested about what this guidance is. And I think that my other part of me that has been so interesting to observe is that part of me that is the judge. The part of me that says, who do you think you are? And what do you think you're doing? And I recognize that that aspect of ourselves is really there, as I've said before, to keep us safe, because it's crazy to step out in faith to do wild things. But how many stories are there of people who were willing to do something outside of the norm, to take huge risks? And you're either going to have great success or you're going to have great failure. But you won't know until you try. You won't know until you try. And I'm at a place in my life where I really feel so connected to this work, to the recovery work, to the turning the attention to ourselves, to the inward light that shines. The quote from Oprah says, let your light shine. And then it says, shine within. Shine within. Heal from within. Turn inward. Be your inner light so that that can shine on someone else. And I know that this next step for me is essential for my journey, whether it's a great success or a great failure. And I can't tell you which one it is. Because the other thing that we talk about a lot in soul recovery is being okay with uncertainty. That I can't guarantee that it's all going to be exactly how my dream is. But we won't know until we try. So I will work at the Spiritual Center through the end of March. And then in April, I'm going to be able to take the time to dedicate full into all the ideas that pour through me that I don't have the time to do because of needing to work someplace else. It's going to be an interesting journey. And I know that I'm going to bump up against that judge and that critic who is terrified of what this is going to look like, that it might fail, and it might fail, and that's okay. But I don't think it's going to fail. I've watched the listeners of the downloads grow steadily over the last couple years. You're reaching out and telling me how this is affecting your life. I am having more and more of you setting up coaching sessions so that you too can have this support to recover your soul. And I have great faith that I have been given this intuition, not as somebody special. I am no different than any of you. I don't have anything else in me that makes me somebody better or more special. We are all special, and that we just need somebody else sometimes to give us permission to love ourselves and see ourselves for exactly who we are. And I thank you because you've given me permission. You've supported me with donations on the website. You've supported me by subscribing to the Apple Podcasts. You've supported me by becoming a Patreon member. You've supported me by booking coaching sessions. Each one of those things tells me that this direction that I'm getting is helpful to you, that my inner light that I have been growing and allowing in myself, loving myself exactly for who I am, allowing myself to not be perfect, allowing the world around me to not be perfect, just being present in the moment and seeing the beauty that is out there to see. I think that what I love about podcasts, what I love about inspirational things all the way around us is we know inside. Everybody knows how to eat healthy. Everybody knows that if you exercise more, everybody knows that if you do certain things in your life that you will have some other result. But it isn't until we are ready internally, until we have come to some place of knowing that we love ourselves so much, that we want the best for ourselves, that we're willing to make other choices. I don't have anything new to tell you that you didn't already know. As I've come through recovery, and the things that I'm sharing with you are my experiences that I've had through this inspiration of all of a sudden knowing that this now is mine to do, that this newness is mine to do. Accepting myself and the world around me. And as I move forward in this new place in my life, I hope that I will be speaking more at other spiritual centers. I hope that I'll be able to travel the country and meet some of you. I hope that I'll be able to do workshops and retreats. I hope that you'll be able to connect with me and with others in different ways. The website will be the place to check out what's up and coming. If you're not already set up as a subscriber to my email list, go to the website and set up as a subscriber so that we as a community can connect. Join the Facebook group. Let's start talking more to each other. Email me and ask me questions. What do you want to hear about? Tell me your stories so that I have some idea, more of an idea of who you are and who I'm talking to and how I can support you, how I can shine my light on you so that you can shine your light in your world. It's an exciting time. There's so much change happening in the world. It is faster and, oh gosh, it's heavier than it ever was before. There's more addiction, more depression, more anxiety being recorded than ever in history. And so that's not in a utopia that's out there that if we do this work that somehow the outside world will be better, because that is not likely. But if more of us are being a light in the world and affecting other people to be a light in the world, there is a much greater chance that there will be more lightness than dark. And there's a much greater chance that we internally can still find peace even when the world around us is chaotic and crazy and difficult and hard. We can do hard, but we don't need to be in pain. We can let go of our suffering. What guidance are you getting from Spirit that you're not listening to? What is that voice that is coming through you that you need to open up to greatly? I encourage you to take some time to allow yourself to dream, as I dreamed those 3 years ago, of what seemed like a fairy tale then. And I haven't had a fairy tale life. This is not about, as I said, getting to some place that is without the difficulties of being human. It's about living your best life. It's about healing and letting go of the pain, letting the resentments flow through you, letting go of that no longer serves you so that you can have your best self. So take some time to write down the dreams of what you would love in your life, in your relationship, in your health, in your career, your vocation, in time and money freedom, to allow those voices, that intuition, that guidance from higher power that is trying to move through you and give you these things that are happy, these things that are fulfilling, this life, these relationships, these connections to yourself first, and then to others, to have a full, happy, healthy life. And I'm beyond ecstatic to be able to grow Recover Your Soul. And I thank you for being part of it. I thank you for sharing this podcast. If you go in and rate the podcast, it helps me on the search engines. If you share it on social media, each one of those things helps me to be able to grow this so that we can shine our light on even more people who need to find the healing of soul recovery. Thank you for being part of this community. You are important to me. Until next time, namaste. Thank you for listening, and I hope this episode offered you tools, guidance, and inspiration on your journey to recover your soul. If you'd like some support and encouragement with your soul recovery, book a coaching session with me. When you're ready for change, it's amazing what can be done in just a few sessions. There's never any long-term commitment. This is your personal journey, and I'm just here to be a guide and assist you in connecting with your fullest and happiest self. Visit the website recoveryoursoul.net, where you can find more about me, Rev Rachel, book your spiritual coaching sessions, subscribe to receive email updates, and even listen to some of my original music. We thank you for supporting the production of this podcast by donating on the homepage or subscribing on Apple Podcasts or becoming a Patreon member. When you become a member or a subscriber, you're going to receive an extra bonus episode each week, and your support is really appreciated. By following, subscribing, and reviewing this podcast on your favorite platform, you're helping to spread the Recover Your Soul message. We hope that you will follow us on Instagram and Facebook, and even join the private Facebook group to become part of our transformational community. Together, we can do the work that will recover your soul.